Almighty morning. Good morning. Jess is already in waiting. I was going to show the commercial I made for you, but it's on a different format, so it
Yeah,
kind of makes it weird.
no
Can't do
worries.
that. Yeah,
No.
I wanted to play it before we came in. Good morning, everyone. I would like to introduce Jenna Lee. Now, um, I met Jenna at Everything Just Rocks for the Monday night class. I know we talk about this all the time about the Monday night class. Welcome in Wade. And Wade is from Tolleson. You might know Wade. I don't know. Wade Woodruff. Sorry. And Harley. Thank you
Hello.
guys. Please share, everyone, so that, oh, yes, thank you. Thank you, Wade. I don't remember which day I met her. I don't recall her being there the first day, which was August 29th, 2022. Um, but she has a great soul, beautiful soul. A lot of great people in that class, but she was one who stood out. And I know this was a long time ago, and it was you were doing a mundane job at that time. I mean, you were working on your spirituality and keeping things going and exploring what your options were at this time. But you have gone through so much transformation. Whoops, she disappeared. So much transformation in the last few weeks. She's still connected and we're still online. I don't know what happened. Um, but hopefully she'll be back in just a second. And I was going to ask her to, she's been through so much transformation and she has been doing a lot of the shows and all. There she is. Now she's back. Don't know what happened. So,
That just crashed.
yeah. And you've been doing a lot of the psychic fairs, soul search shows. I mean, you've been everywhere and traveling for this
Yeah.
new, for your new business and everything. So,
Yeah. You've been to
it's
Hawaii and Ohio and
didn't you go to Minnesota or something?
I'm going to
Oh,
Minnesota
yeah.
actually in a few months.
And you've done stuff in Sedona or yeah.
Yeah. I've been to Sedona. There's a couple things there and there's something coming up in October too. It's not live yet, but yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
please introduce yourself. I just
Yeah.
introduced how I know you, but
How you know? Yeah. So, hi everyone. Good morning. My name is Jenna Lee, and I am a channeler. I'm an Akashic Enlightenment Practitioner. I mainly when I tell people what I do, I help guide people into presence through different modalities, right? So people sometimes feel stuck or stagnant in their life. And I do a lot of work within people's Akashic records, which include everything that someone has experienced, every emotion, every feeling, everything that they have experienced in this book of life. And I help guide people back to the presence of their true self. So I do that through a couple different modalities, and I channel through, you know, these Akashic Enlightenment modality, as well as working within someone's, the Book of Truth, which something is a lot of people know the Akashic records, but the Akashic Enlightenment includes what's called the Book of Truth. And that is essentially a higher dimensional space that includes the laws of the universe. And that helps guide people with their ascension. So that includes, different frequencies, different elements that help someone on their path to ascension, to not only just kind of shift them, but really help them in a different space, to be in, in a different space in their, in their own essence, understand their true self. So I do a couple of different things there. And then I do also have a podcast that just launched, that just launched too as well. So that literally just went live this week. And the podcast is called Erotic Spirit Podcast. And that bridges sacred sexuality with spirituality and really does a huge focus on one's sexual healing. And the first season is mainly about foundations into sacred sexuality, into the essence of someone and who they are. We talk about boundaries in the first season. We really break the illusions of, all of the shame out there, all the shame out there around sexuality, and allowing all of ourselves to be embraced, all the shadows, all of that to be embraced so that we can heal as a collective, really. So, yeah.
And that is, like we talked earlier, taboo on TikTok and different places. And it's been taboo,
Yeah.
speaking of that, for ever since I've been alive. I don't know.
Yeah. It is, I mean, it's a taboo topic still. I still see, people have issues with it, or trauma. We do talk about trauma on the podcast as well, and everyone. I mean, the statistics are really high with uh, with sexual abuse or whatever that may be. And so it's just kind of uh, allowing someone to enter a container, really, to be able to see themselves and hopefully to just kind of release some of that shame or whatever it may be that's going on, just to kind of help guide people into a different space. So yeah, I'm really excited. Just dropped 4 episodes this week, and we're excited for where it goes.
Now, do you see the podcast taking you and Angela to, I don't know, being speakers together on this topic?
Sorry, say that again.
You and Angela, your co-host of the
Yeah.
podcast, to be speakers on this subject.
We really, how we really got into this was, different things. Angela this has always been kind of a topic for her that she's really she's really been excited about. I mean, when you kind of look out there, even myself as well, when you look out there, people channel, okay? When they channel, a lot of times they channel on war, they channel on, all the future, the prophecies, all that stuff. And for us, or at least I could speak for myself, this is about bringing light to categories that, that don't really get a lot of light, right? I mean, every category deserves some light. And speaking on this in different areas and in different shows and different things coming up here is really exciting to be able to get out there and share. Yeah.
Yeah. And Jess, this is Jess. She made a comment about what you were talking about the truth book. So, yeah, imagine that. There really is.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't see that. It went down really quick. Oh, so life didn't come with a manual. Imagine that.
Yeah.
No, no. Yeah. I mean, that's the big thing. A lot of these things don't come with a manual. I mean, we don't even learn emotions or how to regulate emotions in school growing up or things like that. So can we
Yeah.
imagine if we start to relate, just have honest conversations out there with everyone about what's going on in our head, we probably would realize a lot of people are thinking the same things.
Right. And
Yeah.
we're not alone. I mean, we
Hmm.
always think that I'm so lonely and all that. No, you're never alone. And there's always people like you.
Yeah. I love this comment here too. Yeah, that's an area. I love that. Actually, Angela has a huge background with religion, and that's actually like her. That's a big piece that she's had to get over is the demonizing or the shame or the evil that has kind of been put behind just such a natural part of our lives. And we do talk about, I feel really passionate about this, like when you put energy towards something, if you put negative energy out there, you're going to amplify it. You're going to amplify that out there, and that's, we don't want to do that.
And a lot lately has been on the negative side,
Hmm.
deep trauma, as you mentioned before, for a lot of people, and it's causing more triggers
Yeah,
for
abs-
other people. Hmm?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for this to almost take your power back in your sexuality.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love that. I love that. Yeah.
Thanks, my ears.
Yeah, she does have wonderful energy. Just being in a room with her is so energizing. Um, now we talked about human design just a little bit. Were you a generator or master?
Yeah, I think I've looked up and I remember seeing it say manifestor generator, I
Generator. Okay.
believe. Yeah, I just thought it's so funny. I just talked about this with someone else. They asked me because I move through things really quickly.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, I'm not bypassing, but things
No.
move really quickly. And I do a lot of the shadow work, but yeah, things happen for me really. I don't really know much about that, but I can manifest a lot around travel. Like I manifested my trip to Hawaii earlier this year. So it's like, oh, all right.
And
Yeah.
basically, what that means is that you are in alignment with your human design. And the other thing is, with you going from one thing to the other is normal also for a manifesting generator. Yeah,
Okay.
because they because they have a tendency to. It's not that they get bored with anything, but if something lights them up, as all the ones I'm listening to say, that's a hell yes for you. And when there's a hell yes, you go for it. You don't put it away. You don't, oh, I'll get to it later. No, you go.
I
Because
do.
if you don't, you're going to be angry. You're going to be upset. So just go. Do it.
Yeah, yeah. I do a lot of trust falls and just move forward with something like that. That sounds good, but there's a lot of work too behind it where I've like around trust. We can doubt a lot, and that's with the work that I do with other people. I don't just do with other people. I've done that myself. I worked in my own Akashic Enlightenment. Be like, okay, what is the block here? What are the blocks? And there was a lot connected to core wounds around self-worth, like attaching to my value to the outcome. And so if things would fail or something like that, it would be it would tie to my value and my worthiness there. So there's so much that we don't realize when we don't move forward in things. We're remembering the stories of something that has happened to us that's not true. So now I'm like, all right, this feels good, and I just move into it.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when did you really start? I mean, to your spirituality? Was it young that you?
Yeah, so my spirituality just started, started a few years ago. I actually, and it was activated by my spiritual awakening. It was catalyzed into it, and so I actually don't remember my childhood. So I have repressed memories, and I don't. Well, now I actually remember them, but or remember my repressed memories, but growing up or as being an adult, I didn't remember most of like under age, like around age 11, 12ish. And so that's connected to the sexual trauma that I have been through. And so actually my catalyst that happened a few years ago that woke me up to my spirituality was a loved one was kind of going through some mental health issues, and a lot of things happened which activated or kind of, I end up with PTSD.
Mm.
And so during that time, I started to actually have additional flashbacks of when I was younger. And so I actually was forced to work on everything. I was like, oh, okay, the universe is like, you've been like avoiding your whole life, and we're going to work on everything because everything is connected. So that actually moved me into where I started a healing journey. And I mean, I had to. I made a decision: either I could live that way or I can make changes. So I was out of work for 5 months and working on different modalities. I was introduced to Reiki at that time. Not only that, but EMDR therapy, and that really helped guide me back in. But being able to see different modalities, as soon as I went back to work, I started to go to psychic and mediumship development classes. So yeah, that kind of started this spiritual journey where I was curious about energy. I realized during when I was out of work and when I wasn't doing well, there were simple things like grounding my energy. And I was like, what is this? Because I had so much anxiety, and there was something there. There was something there that I was curious about. And once I started going, things moved really quickly. So I realized that I was always intuitive. I never knew that's what it was. I would be like, oh, I got in business, I would know what to do, but I would always back it up with the math and all of that. But I would always kind of have the right space first, so I wouldn't waste time. So yeah, that's started my spiritual journey, and it was so beautiful. I love it. Yeah.
So when did you start going to Everything Just Rocks to teams?
That would have been shortly after I went back to work. It was like end of 2022.
Okay. So it
Yeah.
was just after I did. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I knew I didn't see you right away, but I saw you come in, and there was an Anna there that you guys seemed to be close at the time, and also
I'm not sure. You said
Anna. I think her name was Anna. She hasn't been
oh,
there for a while, huh?
okay. Yeah, I was gonna say there's a few people. Like I was
Yeah.
thinking of Angelina. Like there might have been but
Yeah, and I didn't remember Angelina all that much
yeah.
from the class. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, there was quite a few. And were you in your mundane work? Were you an engineer, or you talked about math? What kind of?
I did product development in
Oh,
my corporate job, and for a decade I worked in different companies and different categories on bringing products to market for the business. So it was actually nice to it's nice to have my own business where I'm running my own product there and kind of understand the whole cycle there. But yeah, it's a good old corporate world there. Yeah. Oh, I love this comment here.
that's Harley.
Yeah.
And Harley, I think, is in Massachusetts. Ten Buck, who was commenting earlier, that happens to be my brother, California. Victor Cedarholm is in Sweden. So you've got people all over.
All over. I love
Yeah.
that.
Trying to remember who else is in here. Jess is in Tennessee. Not sure where Brandon is. And Brenda Watt is in Houston area. So yeah, they're coming in from all over. And Wade, of course, is in Tolleson.
uh,
And he's into dream yoga. He hasn't really explained that, but I just thought I'd mention that if you've heard of it. The other question I have for you, you talked earlier about it, a modality MDR or something. I can't,
Oh, EMDR.
EMDR. Okay. What
Yeah,
is it?
yes. Yeah, so EMDR is basically there are a couple ways I have worked with what's called the buzzers, but sometimes there's like a light that they will the practitioner will move back between someone's eyes. So I can't really speak to that, but there are buzzers. There were two buzzers that I would put one under my right leg, one under my left leg, and what it does is guided through the a practitioner, it processes the whatever it needs to be processed. And when we go through certain things, trauma, whatever it may be, we sometimes just kind of put it over there. And so this allows us to go into like a safe space, and the right and left hemisphere kind of start to sync up and process it how normally we would, and am able to kind of release that. So, and there's more to it, but basically it's a different type of, I guess you can say, like psychotherapy, but it's a different kind there that really allows the processing to be different. And you can even use it for, like, I was nervous to go back to work after all those months out, and even just doing that, having a little bit of a whatever it was, however long that took to go through, I didn't feel nervous anymore. Like, it would just allow everything to process in a way that was just like, yeah, we're these are the emotions that are coming up, but it's really okay. So it's a very beautiful modality. I highly recommend for people to have to try it if they've never tried something before. Yeah. Yeah.
I can't remember if you told me that when you started with the Akashic Records, was there a ceremony or something that started that journey? Okay.
Something that started that journey. Oh yeah. So I actually, so I did ayahuasca. Yeah, that was the ceremony. I
Okay.
did ayahuasca basically, and I started channeling light language in that as well. I remember like everyone was laying down and I sat up the whole time, and my hands started moving. So I started channeling in light language with my hands. Now, light language, if people aren't familiar, I didn't talk about that before, is just basically energy source and connected to our true self, connected to source, universe out there. And it comes through in a couple different forms. So I will kind of, you'll probably see me like where I move my hands, and basically I'll sign, what it's called. It can come out where I'll see symbols in my head and draw that out. So, and that's coming through for some reason too as well. There might be some people who see signs in their head, draw it
Mhm.
out. There's some form of energy that's coming through, and then I'll do it vocally. So I'll express it via my voice, and it may sound like another language. It may sound like, clicks in the head, or and I'll just express that out. And it's just really a beautiful form. A lot of people actually think that like they remember. They're like, like that it sounds familiar. That language, and it's just because they're like, it's a home frequency, it's remembering home. um so in this journey, essentially in this ayahuasca journey, I'm like, what is happening? So I found someone online that was doing what I was doing. I booked a session with them, and I was having a lot of trouble around the light language, because I'm like, it was little bit of fear and kind of all these things. And she actually guided me to my Akashic Enlightenment teacher and mentor, who I never did a session before. And I went into the session and I had instant forgiveness. And there was something there. I was like, I need to just do this for me, was really the goal. And then before I knew it, a couple months later, I was like, I'm going to do this for other people.
Great. Great.
Yeah.
And so you're doing that now. That's part
Yes.
of your.
Yeah. So that's part of what I've been offering over the last few years is, yeah, are those sessions, or those Akashic Enlightenment sessions. Yeah.
And the the commercial I put out for Jenna does have her services first, and then her trainings that she does.
Yeah.
So yes, and this is Angie. A5 says, and of course she's been to uh, Monday night class too. I don't know if you've been there when she was there. She also does live on Wednesday evenings with Dawn, so she'll be on later today, hopefully. And she does speak it from time to time, yes. And she
Uh,
recorded it one time, and there was at least one word I knew for sure what it meant. So it was like, wow. And it's nice to know, yeah, that it is a language of home, and
yeah.
it does sound familiar to a lot of people.
Language of
So
home, language of love, this frequency there. And it's such a, yeah, it's so beautiful. It's self-healing, and everyone can speak it and channel it. It's just more of like an intention there. And sometimes people they hear in their head, they hear like the frequencies. I remember sometimes I'll connect with people and have sessions, and I'll be like, you're already hearing light language. And like, do you hear sometimes clicks in your head? And they don't, like, some of the sounds are just verbalizing the frequency that's coming through, and people don't realize it until, like, once that energy moves through them, they're like, oh, this is something here.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
definitely. Okay.
Oh yeah, there's I love that you put this up there too, with referring to star seeds. There is a connection to light language as well, to different you can, yeah, to different galactics out there as well, but it's both, right? So like,
Mhm.
it's just like connection to source and all that is. But then I do work with interdimensional beings. I've had, and even just other, yeah, other galactic beings that will come through, where it might be like Pleiadian, it might be Lemurian. There's really a lot of different connection points that I feel come through, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just pure connection. So it just really depends what's coming in, and ultimately at the end of the day, if it is something that is galactic that's coming through, it's still this message or the frequencies of love, and helping to shift one's consciousness back into the truth of their own love and their own true self. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. And Angie is here in Arizona. So I don't know if you see
Ah,
that.
very cool. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, we've getting more and more people in. Okay, so what else did there's something else that I wanted to. So you talked about how you got it started with Akashic records and the light language. That is, I've done it only one time, where just these, not words that I know of, were coming out, and I wrote down what it sounded like.
Ah,
So I do have that one, and yes, I need to do more of that. Now, what I know, you talked a little bit about your services. So is there one of the services that you prefer, or does it just depend on that person and what they need?
just it just depends on the person. So, and I can talk about the attunements that happen as well too as well. But mainly, what I offer is either kind of like an energetic session through someone's Akashic Enlightenment, where there's like less guidance, but it's through their Akashic Enlightenment. So they're shifting whatever's kind of stuck, or there could be ancestral kind of karma, or whatever it is that is in their book of life, and that's an energetic session, or just one that has the guidance. So the regular kind of Akashic Enlightenment session, where there's spiritual homework, there's access into as well their book of life, everything that they've experienced. So that comes in where there's lots of guidance in there. So those are like really some of the main crux of what I offer as far as services. A lot of times people don't know why they're coming to me. They just sense the frequency and they're like, there's just something here. And so then sometimes it is as well where they're coming in for attunements. I see that all the time. So I offer what's called aqualorian light being attunements. And I didn't really talk about the aqualorians. And so I can touch upon that real briefly too there as well. So they are interdimensional beings that are of a higher density of like a ninth dimensional space. And basically, very, when I work with them, it's very intuitive type of energy. So we have chakras that are inside of the body, the main chakras, and then we have higher transpersonal chakras that are outside of the body. And so they connect in with the entire field of our energetic system. So we have our physical body and we have our energetic bodies. There's and there's so many areas there that I can kind of get into, but the energy bodies that are outside of the actual physical body, when we connect into the energy there, we shift quicker. We, if you want to call it, heal quicker, because there's a lot of things in our entire field. And so working with them, basically I'm a channel, and I everything else kind of runs through. And so there's a lot of shifting back to what's called original divine blueprint. We come into this incarnation with, and sometimes we do come in where things have happened, like in the womb or things like that. There's a trauma that happens. There's this original divine blueprint that is full ascended master being. That is us. That is what I have learned through the laws of the universe, is that yes, there's ascended masters out there, all of that, but they're reflections of our own ascended consciousness. And so really, when we start looking at um, all that is out there, we can start to channel in this divine presence through clearing out old stories. Anything that tells us that we're not good enough or whatever it is, the trauma, once we clear that out, we connect into our original blueprint. And so they help resource with that, as well as whatever is clearing through Akashic Enlightenment. Now, the attunements are very different than the sessions, because what an attunement really is, and the ones that come through on the site, the Aqualorian Light Being attunements and the Angelic Unity Consciousness attunements, they are permanent energetic structure changes in the body that help one to hold or remember how to hold more light. And so instead of kind of like hey, I shift and I go back to how things are, typically how we feel outside of attunements is I do shift, but I'm like responding differently to things that are happening. And I'm really just, instead of reacting, basically. And that's part of the attunements there, the aquamarine light being attunements, is in turbulent times or times when things are kind of unsteady, you kind of like are more going with the flow. Usually when people do the attunements, they see a lot of physical shifts in their reality, like actual physical things, whether that's clearing out mindsets of money and more abundance coming in, shifting of people that are in their life because they're no longer resonating at those frequencies. So the attunements are very powerful there. And there are different ones that between the aqualorian light being attunements and the angelic unity consciousness attunements, those are kind of two different flavors that are offered.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, and this is from Harley, her question.
Yeah. Okay. So yes. So the Akashic Enlightenment sessions includes your Akashic records. And now the difference is that it includes what's also called the Book of Truth. Um, So I know it says here the divine enlightenment. So I wanted to make sure that I clarified that. So Akashic enlightenment is basically like the prayer, the frequency of the words that when said out loud, states are altered, and it starts to step into this cosmic frequency. So not only through one soul's journey, their Akashic records, but it's also channeling in through this cosmic energy, these, you want to call them laws or like understanding of the multi-universe. And that channels in combined with what one has gone through. So, and anyone can access this, book of truth. It's more of like it's a higher dimensional space. So are we attuned to it? Do we trust it? I remember before I started doing this work, I was getting information about time and like how time works. And my mind couldn't wrap around it. My ego was like, that's not true. And when I started, like, the universe was already sending me knowledge. And when I started to step into this work and work with Akashic Enlightenment and work with the Book of Truth, about a year later, I wrote down all this stuff and I channeled in all of this information, and I finally trusted it. I was finally like, it made sense. So we get in this knowledge all the time, and it's a huge energetic database that is like basically the laws that are outside of man-made, that's outside of the restrictions of ego, and like what ego wants to protect us from. It's a space where when we're attuned to those higher frequencies, where we start to co-create from alignment, like just drop in. That's part of, like, when something comes in, I go and do it if it feels in alignment, and there's no question anymore. So yeah, but it's just so I can clarify there, the difference between Akashic Enlightenment and your Akashic records, just your records. Yeah.
So on the attunements, and that's not just attuning, but you're saying you're training. I mean, you put it under the training heading instead of services.
Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, I put it under a different section under training on my website, and basically, yeah, I mean, in a way, it's kind of like you want to call it like your training, your body, mind, and spirit, but it's all through energy. A lot of times, we'll go through and we will learn like the logic behind things, and we'll learn like the words behind it. At some point, though, we get to higher states of consciousness or higher frequencies that are like, there are no words. So there are attunements that are these aquilarian light being attunements are 9 weeks, 9 sessions, 9 1 hours, but there are 30-minute attunements, and they're energetic restructures. We can learn all these things about, say, like I'll give an example. What's coming through is, looking at like the frequency of love. Okay, we like, it's a frequency. We can try to describe like love, but that's our human side that wants to kind of be like, this is this, right? It's though this pure presence and this frequency that we'll feel. And so that's where these attunements kind of come in. They're reaching different states of consciousness. They're restructuring the energetic system that we have within us. And there are no words for that, but there is, of course, different things that come up. It's a full 1 hour session. So there are different things that come up, but the attunements are just energetic restructures that really help us to hold more, not, I don't want to say like we can't hold the light, but it shifts the structures permanently so that we remember how to continue to hold the light more and more often, instead of like shifting in and out of it, just kind of being in that state of presence more frequently. And it works based on where someone's consciousness is already at that time, wherever they are at, and it helps shift from there. So yeah, they are, you can say trainings, but there's no words to kind of fully describe the experience, but to give people a little bit of that. And then there's the angelic unity consciousness attunements. Now those are different frequencies and different levels, and work with even like different, you can say like different interdimensional beings. So that came to me while I was in Mount Shasta last year, and I went to Mount Shasta a few times. So the second time that I went, the first time I went was more attuning to the mountain and like the high frequencies, and so much shifted in my life that time, and that was beautiful in itself. But the second time that I went, I connected with the seraphim. And the seraphim are basically angelics. If people are not aware, they are like they don't like the words. Again, we say like the words, and we call it hierarchy, but really they're a higher consciousness and a frequency. When I say that, like an awareness of higher frequencies out there, than just kind of like angelics or just, angels or and such. And so that came in, this download that took a few months, where basically attuning people to these frequencies help them to remember their angelic essence and remember their angelic lifetimes. To also it does also help shift the energetic structures as well, to help with more responding instead of reacting as well. So we are doing a lot of clearing, but it's connected to a higher dimensional space. And it's even a modality as well. So in the first, you can say the first level, people's hand portals start to activate. So they'll start to be able to kind of run the energy themselves and start to even work with others as well. So it's beautiful. They're all beautiful modalities, whatever one's called to.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Now, Harley had a question. When reading the Akashic Records and Book of Truth, have you done future travel where you go into the future versus past to bring back info or healing to the present?
Yeah, well, we can absolutely go through to the future with it. It's all future potentials and possibilities. And what I will say though, a lot of people come to me, and a lot of people don't ask about the future. They're like, something is stuck, and then basically because it's got all the future potentials, when you look at where we're stuck, everything shifts. Your consciousness will shift from where you are at, and then the timelines will shift in the future. But yeah, you can absolutely tune into the future, as long as we're aware too that like things are always changing, and we have free will to make certain decisions or stay in certain ways. Yeah, but it's everything. It's everything, healing one back and into their present selves, and guiding them where they can then step into their own aligned future. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good question.
Yeah. And Harley is on our Tuesday night class. I sent you the link. You can come in anytime, every Tuesday night from 6 to 8. And a lot of them in the chat are from that because of the fact that we talked about it yesterday, and a lot of them came wanted to come in and see what you had to offer, as because everybody has a story and everybody has experiences, even though they might seem similar. It's also how you recovered from trauma and other things that makes a whole lot of difference, because like you said, we all get stuck. And so how did we get out of that? What did we do? What did you do to do it? And what did this person do? And it's a matter of which resonates with you highest. And speaking of person who's been through some, welcome in, Michelle. This is the first time you've been on this podcast. We have Jenna Lee, who does a lot of great things.
Yeah. Yeah, and hello, Michelle. And I wanted to touch on too what you said, because everyone does go through things, and the big thing that I see out there, because I do channel, right? And what we bring forward in our sessions, other than a reflection of what we have been through, right? So when I look at, say, what I've done, and where the channel is, and the work that happens, like especially when I'm working with someone's Akashic Enlightenment, it gets really deep. There's usually like a lot of, of trauma or things that come up. There's a lot of really big things that come up. Now, one that is holding that space for someone else, how the healing happens is that the channel has cleared through and worked through their own stuff. Now, how can one channel and help guide someone past their own stuff if they're still in that, they can't see past their own maybe toxic relationship, right? And so
Mhm.
um, the work that I've done over the last few years, and the program that I was in was a 2-year program that was working with others in their own Akashic Enlightenment, doing sessions and guiding them. But then also, you can say, I guess, like training and understanding where my ego has maybe gotten in the way, or a remembering of something that has happened, where now like things get in really deep. So especially because I've remembered my repressed memories that came back to me, all of those things. So when people come to me, and especially if there's people that have, I can just say, like sexual trauma or repressed memories, it gets in really deep and really right away, versus like I have to sort through it, because essentially the way that I have worked on it myself, the stories are not, they're not in resonant anymore, and they've kind of shifted out of my field, where the channel is clear and able to just see that person, see their true self, and just some of the things that maybe kind of keeping them from that space. And everything is out. It's not about me, right? It's just purely about the information. So when people go and do the work, like you said, everyone has a story, but when we go and do the shadow work and we really get into it, we really truly become those clear channels for other people, so that they're shifting, we're present with them. And that's all that we need to do, because everyone is a healer. Everyone is their own healer. They're the ones who are being guided or remembering, like that's where maybe it's coming from. But in that moment, they're the ones who their body is finally physically saying, yes, I release this. Yeah. Yeah. So I go on my tangents about that. But
Oh
yeah.
no, that's great. And even though I say we have our stories, it's the lessons learned that we
Yeah.
need to keep with us,
Yeah.
not the story per se, but what did I learn from that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so on board with that. Yeah. And I wanted to mention too as well, because there might be some people who are interested in this modality. And so I'll be kind of facilitating some online trainings for Akashic Enlightenment. So even if you have worked with the Akashic records too, feel free. You can go on my email list, or you can go to my website and shoot me info if you're interested. And that training it'll be online. So working with to really step into teaching the modality now that I've kind of been in the space to work with others and at one-on-one, really helping to facilitate one to their own journey, providing one the own tools, because we can do this and we don't have to go and read for other people. We can just step into our own Akashic Enlightenment to help ourselves shift and to help ourselves understand what are the patterns that are happening. So if people are interested in that as well, definitely get in touch there. Yeah.
Okay. And I was going to ask you, now that you've got a new training coming up, um, have you thought about or have you initiated yet a mentor program?
Yeah, I actually do. So I do have It's so funny. That's one of the things that I forgot to mention. I do have a 6 month, um, what's called Mirror Awakening program. And so
Okay.
basically, we are creators of our reality. Okay. So when we get down to the thing is, when we take ownership of that and we recognize that, things will start to shift in our life. Yes. Are we like, do we say we want to have the same, type of like people coming in our life, same type of relationships that are like, emotionally unavailable, right? Or things like that. It's like, well, where are we at? Like everything outside of us is a reflection of things internally. Maybe we're not aware there are subconscious belief systems that are we truly emotionally available ourselves, and then are we completely putting that out there, where yeah, sometimes we'll have an emotional unavailable person or some sort of relationship dynamic that we're not happy about. Are we really putting our full selves out there so that that person leaves and then someone else that is fully aligned comes in? So this program is about helping people to see the reflections of their inner subconscious belief and how we are creating our reality. Training them to understand that, yeah, we are the creators of our reality. So it's a 6 month program, stepping into seeing the mirrors of our reality, and that it is also connected into one's Akashic Enlightenment too, as well. So it is helping one shift into that. Shift into alignment of themselves. And this program is a journey. Someone who's like really committed, and usually someone who, not just someone who's going through a spiritual awakening, but if someone who has felt really stuck for a while, um, it'll go through all areas of life and we look at all areas of life and where things are really coming up, and start to dive in deeper to where things are coming from, and then start to understand something's coming up here now, and this is happening in my reality now. I'm more aware of where I'm at, and I choose to shift into actual truth instead of this old perspective, and really helping train people from that perspective. But that's one thing. And the Akashic Enlightenment trainings are new. That is actually not even up on the website yet, but that will be up on the website. And that is, I think, an important program where I was part of that, to be able to work with someone that is helping someone see, not only help someone empower themselves for their own tools to be able to go in and see what's happening, but also when someone starts to work with someone else, um, we see the mirrors of what's happened to us. Like all the clients that I work with, there's some sort of mirror, right? We're all mirrors of each other. So when we start to kind of step out and work with other people, we have things that we didn't realize are actually still activating or triggering us. And so the training, this Akashic Enlightenment training, and really teaches us to see what is coming from the subconscious mind, and where are we still creating from. So yeah, there's two different programs, but very just depends on what someone is looking for.
Yeah. And I didn't notice a whole lot of the events on your event page. So are you going to be updating that? Because we would like to know where you're going to be next.
Yeah, I will be updating that. I will say August has been a very restful and playful time. So yeah, I will update the website so people will see, because I will be in, actually this weekend, I will be in Northern California, if anyone's there, in Rohnert Park with Soul Search. And then there's all these different areas that I'll be going through the next few months. I'll be in Sedona. I'll be in Hawaii in October. I'll be in Minnesota. Minnesota is more of not a show, but if people are there, and they're like, hey, people looking for sessions. But yeah, I'll post up all the different areas that I'll be traveling to. and different online events that I'll be hosting as well, because I will be doing an online group group attunements that offer not just a one-on-one attunement for the angelic union consciousness or the aquamarine light being attunements, but offer as well a group rate, so that people that are looking for kind of something financially different, they still have access to the attunements and access to kind of live questions. So yeah. See here. Any chance of, yeah, there are chances of me going to Canada for sure. I don't.
Calgary is what she's. Calgary.
Okay, is where you're at. Yeah, potentially, if there are events or shows in the area, and for me to go, it would probably have to be like a pretty big show. But I'm planning, there's a potential plan on even me going to Glastonbury next September, August for a show. It's Portal to Ascension. So if someone's in the area, I could be going there, but that is not decided yet. So far there's one in Sedona that I'm going to, and that one I have that one planned, but we'll see. I'm definitely planning on taking this global, and I feel guided to being there, even doing immersive events. That's kind of a next evolution of my business, where you want to call it retreats, but really more like immersive events, where maybe they're even combined with conferences slash in my own design. So it could be a way to connect with people, but also I'm all about teaching people the tools that have worked for me. And with the PTSD that I experienced, I realized how disconnected that I was even before then. That I never had this regulated nervous system. And so these in-person immersive events, I feel, are really connected in towards embodiment of one's self, and being connected to mind, body, and spirit, and releasing. So actually, when I go to like Hawaii, I plan on doing like a goddess circle or a divine feminine connection in there as well. So wherever I am going, or if people are interested in events and can rally up quite a bit too, other people that are interested, I would be more than happy to also travel if there's something that's set up too. Yeah.
And speaking of that, Michelle, I know there's a lot of metaphysical, spiritual uh, shops there in Calgary. So if they're having anything up there, please let her know. And speaking of letting her know, I know I'm good with this. This is her website. Okay. And all you have to type in is My Awakening Within on Google, and it'll get you to her website. That's all you have to do. Because I have been there so often lately that so
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of my stuff I get from her. And next, I want to remind you about the podcast,
Yes,
Jenna
yes,
and
yes.
Angela.
Yeah,
So
like on the podcast, we literally just launched it this week, and I hadn't looked since we talked, but I think it at this point might have hit over 100 views. Um,
it's good.
yeah, over for the first episode, we dropped 4 episodes, 3 on Tuesday, 1 on Monday, and the first episode is at 100 views, 102 views. So it's I'm excited, and I think even if it helps one person. But the podcast carries channeled frequency as well, that will like you'll be listening, and you might like not maybe you don't remember some things that kind of come in, and it's because there are shifts that are happening, and the frequencies that we anchor in to this are included. I'm in stepped into my own Akashic enlightenment, so I'm in a higher, in an altered state, anchoring in different frequencies that whatever needs to come in, because I just show up and I just work here. I just channel. I just channel. I just
It,
channel.
channel is not that simple. Um, this is our little commercial time. I will be putting a 2 minute countdown, and we'll take a little bit of break, and then, yes, guys, it's reading time. I don't know what Jenna's going to come up with or what you guys need, but please, if you, this is really, um, so if you would like a reading, or you have a question or anything else, please get that posted in the next 2 minutes. And I will put you in the order you come in. I will star you, and then we'll get started on that. And yes, I can be in the background. This is Jenna's show. So, and I want to make sure that everybody knows I have another YouTube channel, and this is for this show. I know there's somebody on there today. Yeah, Angie says a great job on that. But I will get this posted later today, and I will post the rest of the other videos that we've completed. This is our 12th episode, so I have 12 to post. I think I have 7 so far up there, so we'll get the rest as soon as I can. But please subscribe and share, like, all that good stuff. And hit the notification button so that when I'm on, you'll come on, because you never know who I'll have next, and I'll explain that later. But let's take a break. Here we go.
Yeah.
Sorry, let that go a little long, but
All right.
good. And welcome in, KK. Um, Now, where did you say you were going to be in California, Northern California?
Rohnert Park, and that's this weekend. Soul Search is having a show there. I actually have a lecture on Sunday where it's expand your consciousness through sacred sexuality. And so if you are in the area and you're like, which day to come, I have my lecture that day. So that definitely come for that. But I'll be in the area. I'll have a table. I'll be doing mini sessions, 15 or 30-minute sessions there. So yeah.
Okay. Because Carrie, also known as KK, I should say, she is in Oregon. I don't know how far from Northern California she is, but I wanted to put that out there because as soon as you said Northern California, I said, "Did I see KK in already?" And now she's popping in. So yes, I called her in just to be a part of it in case she wanted to go see you on Sunday. And
Yeah.
now we've met a lot of people because of our Tuesday night class. We've met a lot of people from that in person. However, KK is one of those we haven't met in person yet. So
Okay.
great
Yeah.
to meet
Love
her as well. And she has 5 horses that
Beautiful.
we um, hopefully starting a healing business with them. They're
Ah,
working with her to get that started.
oh,
So,
love that. Yes.
okay. So the first one popping in for reading is Miss Michelle.
Yes. Okay. All right. And then is there, are there any specific questions? And as I asked that too, and I don't know how, Julie, how people usually do, but um, I'm already tuned into the Akashic Enlightenment field, and basically asking everyone's higher selves who do kind of pop in that whatever is shared, because usually for the Akashic Enlightenment sessions, it gets in really deep and it can be really personal. And so this is live and online, and also in a space where someone, whatever is good for their higher self, but it won't kind of get into that deep, but there will be information that is channeled in that will help shift one's consciousness through Akashic Enlightenment there too. So yeah. Cool.
Now, Michelle has been through a lot in the last 2 years, 3 years that we've seen her.
Okay.
So
So
that's
about
what
the
she's
new.
asking about. She's got a new relationship.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm just kind of tuning in here. Okay. So, so things are going to come in a little bit differently than maybe you might kind of see in some other readings, because what's coming in here is the already kind of I'm hearing doubt. Okay, so I'm hearing the words doubt, and it's not necessarily like pulling into the future, because it's like, how do we get you into the present here, fully, so that you can embrace the openings or opportunities that are coming into you, and where can we, are there shifts in your life, or are there things in your life that are, I'm hearing like pertaining to, I'm hearing this feeling of being actually like stuck. This cycle. I don't know if there's been like other relationships that are that have kind of like, I'm seeing this energetic wall go up around the heart. And that's where some of this doubt's coming from. So I don't know if you're feeling it at a conscious space where you're actually feeling doubt, but usually when one asks about something, there's like either curiosity, excitement, or like, hey, where's this going? There's a little bit of like, there feels like a little bit of just nervousness around it, and that is coming from some of those old spaces, right? So we want to get into a point where we can create from this true present space. And when I'm hearing it, and kind of where it wants to go is, there feels like there's family dynamics to kind of relook at and reintegrate with some shadow work here specifically. I'm hearing in like the immediate family, and along with kind of like, I heard dad. So it's not going to get really completely in, to all the specifics there. but there feels like there's some opportunities to look at some shadow work there, and be able to integrate so that we're accepting, we're able to pull down our walls completely so that we understand we don't need the walls anymore. The walls are actually at this point kind of like coming in from old stories and are actually keeping out like the frequencies and resonance of that unconditional love that wants to pour in. So, and I know you asked about the relationship, the new relationship, and to be able to shift into presence is looking at those areas, allowing those walls to come down, being very vulnerable. Because I feel, what I get a sense is, at least I feel this presence of this energy that wants to come in, that is connected to a relationship in a romantic space, that feels like the walls are keeping that out. So it could be your current one. At least what wants to come in is like these walls are opportunities to really accept oneself, in a new way of being and presence that also allows love from other relationships in your life too as well. So yeah, I know I've just kind of been, it's just
No,
kind of,
you're doing fantastic. I know her story.
yeah,
So you're right on the money. And you mentioned dad. Her dad passed not this year. I think it's last year or pretty close to it. And after her father, it was her husband. So the two men in her life. Yeah, it was pretty
yeah,
tough.
yeah. I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, so there's like that, like yeah, okay. So that's why dad was coming in there, but or that's why the not dad coming in. So I make sure that I'm not stepping into mediumship, but like the aspects around dad there, and the walls being up. So yeah, let that be like this opportunity to get into some shadow work there, to kind of look at like, hey, what is where am I not being really vulnerable, and my walls being up? Because that's exactly what you're going to receive back. That's exactly, if we're not fully diving into vulnerability and being really open with ourselves and what we want, then that person is just going to only meet us right there. But if we're like, we let everything all out, and they don't understand it or like accept it, it's because of them. It's not because of us, it's because of them and where they're at, and they're not a good fit. And would we rather know that on day one versus 6 months in? Right? Like, let's just skip all the formalities and drop into this, so we don't spend the 6 month in that cycle of fear. Yeah, so I love this coming through, that they're treating you really well, and there doesn't feel anything bad there either. There's That's why the focus is on you. It's like redirecting, because you have the free will to take this in many different ways. And I even feel like the heart too. I can even feel like um it kind of just feels like really like my heart split open, a type of feeling. So that's the frequencies to kind of shift out of. Yeah, and that you're still grieving. Yeah, of course you are. Of course you are. So, and we can still grieve and still have we can grieve, we can still heal, and still have people in our life that are going to be part of our next chapters, and be part of our life too. Like, we can do all of it. And that's probably why there's not really so much as a focus on like, hey, this in the future. It's like, this is, if we look at this here, and this is and this these things shift, whether it's with that person or someone else, you're going to create an alignment that you take forward in all of your relationship dynamics. Because what I'm hearing is, it feels like the walls go up around other relationships too. It feels like it's like a feeling of like maybe even fear of loss of people,
Right.
so not letting them come in too close. Right, so those walls go up, because if I'm not really vulnerable, then if they leave my life because they shift out for some reason, that I don't want to go through that loss. So let me not be really vulnerable and put myself out there. Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
take it one step at a time, Michelle. Don't jump to the end before the beginning
Mhm.
has a chance to blossom. That's what I'm hearing. It's
Yeah.
about you right now. It's about you.
Yeah, exactly. And those are like, this is a concept where like we can put um, expectations on what something means for us. We can say, and I know, we have something new that comes in. So like we're thinking about all the things in the future, or even like some of the things that it may remind us or activate us on the past. And so that there's big message coming in around present. So when we're kind of like, well, where's it going? What's this going to happen? What's this going to look like 3 months from now? Those are perfectly human things to think about, but grounding back into the present moment is going to help elevate this dynamic where you can actually figure out for yourself if you do want this to be in there. If we're thinking about the future and what this means and kind of all of that takes us out of actually getting to know someone, and like just and it puts us in a frequency of like operating out of a little bit of like sometimes fear or distrust, and we want to operate in our full presence and be fully present with someone. Yeah.
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 I hope that helps you. That would
Yeah,
be
hopefully that helps.
right. We all go through that when something happens, but I'm glad
Yeah.
you're letting go. But please bring those walls down because it's not helping you. It's not helping anybody.
You deserve to be happy. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going. Let's see, who's next? Harley was next. So, was there a specific? Oh, here we go. There's her question.
Okay. Yeah. I love this question. So, okay, tuning in. So, just kind of disconnecting there. So, tuning into Harley. Mm. Well, when I tune in, I see all the dollar signs pouring in, and it just like it feels really good. So let's see. Okay. Ah, I see like multiple streams of revenue. Um, and there's okay, so there's a focus on one. It's actually going into one. Do you own your own business, Harley? I don't know if you do, but um, there's this one focus on like your passion there. There, and it's very creative. Well, it's interesting because the way that it comes in is like I'm seeing you drawing there, and that could either be like a physical, or it's like, hey, this is like you're creating here. It's some sort of creative aspect. Um, Oh, okay. And then, okay, what I want to actually tune into for this as well is I feel the third eye. Um, I feel like a little bit of a pain, like kind of like a pain, like a headache kind of coming in. And so, I don't remember, but I don't know if you're like tuning into things psychically, but when we open our third eye, when our third eye is open, um, there's a lot of perspectives that we start to see from like kind of those some of the old stories, and they're focusing in on your lower chakras here, and this is connected into your finances and and all of that, like your safety and security. That I just got to point to like your root chakra here. So So money is an energy exchange. Is like it's a frequency. Okay, when we start to look at money and a relationship with money in a different way, we just start to see it as like a frequency of safety. Okay, so like I'm still seeing this point to the root chakra there, and okay, there's it's not getting into it here, but there's talking about like childhood here, and it feels like the way that I feel it is like I feel like empathic when I'm younger, right? It's kind of putting me in your space. It feels like I'm empathic, and it feels like there are dynamics in family here that or areas in life where I feel like I need to like pop out of my body to empathically see, check in and feel how others are feeling, to see how I am feeling, and or to see actually to make sure that they're good, actually make sure that someone else is good, to make sure that I feel safe. And it doesn't need to be specific big situations. It just kind of feels um, like a constant dependency there. And sometimes when we open our third eye, or when our third eye is open now as an adult, we carry over those remembrances of, hey, I'm seeking, or my third eye is opening to scan the field here to see, are we good? So I don't know if you're empathic here, and if you feel things, but it's I'm hearing to help ground you back into your body, like to do things focusing on specifically the root chakras around safety and security. And this is going to help with the frequency of money, because when we're feeling safe, that money, that abundance comes in effortlessly. It matches that safety, and everything flows in from there. Let me see if there's anything else here. Yeah, so I'm hearing the word safety again. So really it's like focusing on, do you have certain things? Yeah, they're looking at like your immediate family here for when you were younger, looking at those things. And my third eye is literally like just it's like a headache right now. So where are we seeing from? Are we seeing from some of those older perspectives, and am I creating from that space? And the big thing is, yeah, safety there. I'm not sure if that's resonating, but
Yeah, I'm not seeing any more from Harley. Here she comes. Yes, to the empathic. Okay.
okay, yes to the yeah. Thank you for saying what you're saying yes to as well. Um, yeah, like what comes in is, and what I've learned is, we have like a balanced empath versus like imbalanced empath. And this is like when I'm empathic, I will feel things in my body only when I'm doing the work with people. I'll walk into a room, and if I'm not working, I won't feel anything. I won't feel what's going on in the field. But when I work with someone, I'll feel that they broke like their wrist like when they were younger. And so um, we go through things in life that can kind of create like a unsafeness feeling in the body, and then we kind of pop out and operate from that perspective once our third eye is opened. And so that's where we're like ground in, because you're highly intuitive. I can tell that too. But they're like ground in your body, your lower chakras, but mainly that they're like pointing there, but they're like that, like the sacral chakra around your sexual energy. Definitely like between the three chakras. And I just heard shame as well. There's a aspect of shame that's coming in, which when people talk about money, usually sex comes up too. There's usually something that comes up in that, at least when working with me. I see that they're very interrelated. That sexual energy is we can use that energy to manifest. So if there's anything with our relationship with sex or sexuality that comes in here, that feels hesitant or resistant, that impact, even if we don't think it is impacting us, that's energy. That's energy that's operating behind the scenes, and that creative energy is connected to like turning that filter on, turning the faucet on, and that abundance and finance flowing in. Because what finance and abundance is really like that coming in is all about flow. It's like it is, once we're in flow, it keeps coming in. So that's the frequency of flow there. Um, yeah, yeah. Whew, it's a lot coming in.
There is with Harley. She's very, very connected in.
Yeah, I could feel that. I could definitely feel that. But that's why too, like there's, if you're looking at finances, and that, what I can tell with you is they're focusing on those lower chakras there, because I could sense this, like it's really, really that third eye, like there's a lot going on, a lot of heightened energy, but a lot of heightened energy connected to some, there's some unresolved stuff there, as we do in the game of life. We're working on the journey and what comes up. Yeah. So I'm not sure if that's resonating, but
Yeah.
yeah.
We love the delay on Restream. There, no, that's not. Okay. I hope that helps, Harley, and I know you'll let us know when
I
the
actually
delay.
have some
Okay.
I actually have some light language coming in here
Okay.
too. Like I'm hearing that, and if anyone else is open to receiving, you just send like a telepathic yes here too as well. Is this is for, could be for multiple people, but I feel that head there, so we're just going to kind of let this come in. Wele sikite wala ko shit wala kata wa shit wala ko ayete shwikite le ko we ko le ko we ta o sikite shwala kata o kwalao to we shit wala eke wala ko we se to wala ko ta shwite wala wata ikola swi kite wala ko shwele ko Yeshua te sukwales kete wale ka wa awe te le ui kana shuile te wile ta wa akwale te wale to shuile kata wale kaus kueta kuila shuile la la wakitesh wile kao, and that energy just move through the body, grounding in deeper. Kwale site wale ka to shuile kete shuile te la kala wal akwala la la kwale we do look at us. We allow grounding in the body, deeper, centering into that heart, bringing in love, this remembrance of love and your true self, remembering that template. We did it. Just grounding in more here. Beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, I can feel that. Okay. And there's, by the way, to let you know, is also have a passion for field that is based heavily on creativity. Yes, she does.
Beautiful. Light
But the
language,
jumpy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why I kept hearing to ground in the body. So we're just like anchoring, we're kind of like shifting, but then like we're going to anchor in, like we're going to jump back in.
Great, Harley.
Yeah.
And this is my brother.
Okay. Okay. Just dealing with it.
So are you still here, brother?
Yeah, if you're still here. And then just
We don't want to get
so much.
started.
Thank you so much, Harley. Just kind of disconnecting in there. Beautiful. And then we want to wait to see to make sure that he's still here, right?
Buck is here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Beautiful.
And we have some people on my personal Facebook page. I posted there, so we have that as well. And Shelly, welcome in too. Shelly Dearheart has been in and came back again. So,
Okay.
and I call him a different name than most people do. But where are you, brother? There he is.
Oh,
He's
okay.
here.
Okay. So
Okay, good.
post back. Are
I'm going to
you?
post that back up. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Here we go. There we go.
Okay. Let me just tune in here. And then near past, somewhat present. Okay. So, all right, tuning in here. And then what is so 10 back to okay. All right, here. Okay. Just like anchoring into the body. Okay, so when I tune in to you, I feel like or what's happening to me is I'm like it feels like I'm trying to settle into my body, and then I feel like I I shift out of my body. Is have you gone through a near death experience? I don't know
It's okay.
if that's to me
I'm
whatever.
I'm not sure.
That popped in my head. Like it's I'm looking at the physical body and the energetic bodies. And I know you're asking about like you have a question here, but then you also like whatever messages come in, which makes sense because it wants to focus on this. So whether you okay, you haven't. Yeah, there's some experience though that feels like the physical and energetic bodies like there's just like a disconnect there. So let me tune in a little bit more here as we kind of go in, drop into that. Yeah. Okay. I feel that third eye too as well. Okay, so when this happens, I like to call it out. If there is any, and I call it out just because there's like you don't know me, right? So allowing someone into your space, um, allowing someone doesn't know into their space can be sometimes challenging, and this is coming out in this way for a reason. And so there feels like there was this like some resistance to kind of opening up once I mentioned the feeling of like kind of this pop feeling of popping out of the body and like talking of like the sense of whether it's not a near death experience, but there's some like emotional disconnect that was learned when you were younger. And when that was kind of called out, there are some walls that went up. They're just like all of like the energetic walls kind of went up, and I know that we're online and live here, so there's like just a reminder of this container that spirit is creating. That whatever is like whatever is said is they won't say anything that you know that others that is private, but there is like a understanding of these, or there's this aspect of these walls that are kind of going up, and it's about being as well seen, like a feeling or a sense of not being seen. And this feels like from when you were younger, and this can come in many different forms, but it wants to focus on this energy because any connection into regret or anything there's like this aspect of like truly seeing self, and or not stepping into truly seeing that self, and like some acceptance there and some judgment, but it's connected into this like not being seen from when you were younger. There's dynamics there that feel like there were like projections of judgment, Um, and I just heard like the words dad just popped in too as well. And it feels like an emotional I feel sadness coming in, but it feels like this like I feel like I just want to be held emotionally. Like I'm going to this younger you, or they're showing this like younger you and this little kid, and I just see your hands holding your body, and a feeling of like just like this wanting this like emotional to be emotionally held. And that is what is calling in for you to do now, to actually, they're even saying, inviting in for you to actually physically even put like touch where you are, like holding yourself in a space, because there are things that we do, but it's coming from, we have done things and they have been projected. We have learned things in life that tell us that we're this one way, and we step into those stories and we come from and act from that space of pain that filtered in. And when we, even if there's something that, hey, we did not want to do this, like why do we do that? What it's calling you in for is looking at this being held, that emotional, the spaces and times where you weren't seen, or emotionally held. When you start to do that for yourself now, you're rewriting the past, and you're now going to be operating from that space. So even if you have some of this regret still in the present, or you still have some of that there, when you start to rewrite your nervous system from truth here, that is, you're going to shift out of those frequencies, is what I'm hearing. Yeah, I'm going to shift out of that. It's kind of pulling me back in here, so let me just kind of come back here. I'm not sure if that's resonating there. Yeah, let me know if that's resonating. But big focus on, really, focus on you and your um being emotionally available for yourself, like allowing, if there's like shame, or there's that's coming up, acknowledge it. Acknowledge those things. When we don't acknowledge the feelings, that moves deeper down, and then we continue to operate from that, though, even though we're like that's not true. We're operating from that space, and we continue to step into those patterns and create more cycles that then perpetuate more regret too, as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
$10.
I feel that energy settling.
Yeah.
I feel the like the gears moving through. So sometimes,
Yeah.
um, the shifts are just happening as the energy comes in. Yeah, I feel the energy settling a little bit. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Your inner kid is here, though.
There.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. Your
Yeah,
card just doesn't want to call. Yeah.
there may be. Yeah, and so that's like, there may be like a, hey, like these walls came up in the beginning, and it's only gonna say what, that what's gonna come out is only for you to hear in this moment, is what I'm hearing. So yeah, there might be some stuff there, but I wouldn't put too much energy and focus on that. More on like the message of like what can be done. Yeah, what can be done now. Yeah, hopefully that helps there.
Yeah. I hope that helps. Um, what came in while you were busy with my brother? Was a
Yeah.
okay. That was lovely. And the horses were involved with the light language too. They were loving it.
I love it. And then was calmly walking in counterclockwise circle. Yay! Animals love light language. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they do. Animals, like I remember when I was like being attuned to certain things and kind of all that. My dog at the time would the door would be closed to the room, and he would just be like right outside the door, and you have like the crack under the door, and I remembered like the nose was being there, and he would just like he would make all these sounds because he was so upset that he wasn't in the room. But and then I would just hear, after the transmissions would come in, I would just hear like a sigh of like like just like a nice, so they love it, they just want to be around it. I love that. Yeah, 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 yeah,
I
hopefully
know
that
it's
helps.
confirmation too. And the
Yeah,
horses, and she usually takes her phone out to with her when she goes to the horses, and they listen to all that we do. So
yeah,
for them to acknowledge what you did, that was fabulous.
yeah, I
I
love
think
that.
all of us felt great on that, but to know
Yeah,
they did as well. Okay.
beautiful.
And Elizabeth, are you still here, Elizabeth? We don't want to get started unless you're still here because we have others. And Melanie has changed the her location, so she's on here now. So, and as far as she had put this up earlier, that was the old way of doing things. The white can be worn at any time. I don't care. Those were conditioning. Those were programming. Nah.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm old enough to know where about those programmings. I wear white anytime I feel like it. What was the name of this? Was it Scandal? The name of the drama series that she would wear white. Okay, wear white anytime you feel and if you feel like it, wear it. It
And
doesn't.
white is like a clearing energy. It's like a pure clearing type of energy. So when we wear things, a lot of times, like the colors that we pick out, we're intuitively picking out things that sometimes help us to balance. So wearing the white, if you're feeling it, like you might be intuitively being pulled to like this kind of more clearing energy, is something that just is clearing your field more and more. So yeah, um, I love that though. Okay, so Elizabeth is here. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Work in school. All right, so connecting into with you, Elizabeth, connecting in. Okay, I was getting this before, but I wasn't sure if you were still here. Um, do you work? Is there anything in the medical field? I'm hearing medical. Um, and if you're not, then I wonder if it's something else. So let me see here. Um, let's see. Let me just, as I asked that question, but let me just keep going into this thread here. Okay, are you looking to switch fields? I mean, when you go back to school, it makes sense. But like, they're like, no. Are you like? Is there something else that you're like? You're doing something, and now you're like, I think I want to do something completely different. I mean, you're going for your master's, so maybe not. But oh man, okay. I see you as a healer. I don't know what you do. No medical. Okay. Um, I just saw, I just saw the sound bowls come out. Um, so you bring up work, and you never know what's going to come in. So I don't know what you currently do. I'm assuming because you go to school, like there's um, I don't know what the yes is to.
Yeah, we're not sure. You need
Yes,
to.
yes, what? Um, yeah, maybe it might have been like that. She's completely switching. I see you with sound bowls there, Elizabeth. So I don't know what you currently do. It feels like I'm like I'm the type of feeling I get is there's a couple things that I'm interested in, and I feel like there's potentially like this passion here that I feel like I'm not stepping into, or like a curiosity. So it feels like there's like some curiosity with the metaphysics, like in like doing that, and like how is that, how I'm hearing all these things go through my mind, like how is that going to pay the bills, like all this stuff. I see that it keeps seeing it coming through again. So needing to hear this, I see you facilitating with, I see the sound bowls. I see all the, like there, it's crystals, you and sound. There's something with you and sound. I don't know if you channel light language, or if you know. I feel you're connected into that. And if you don't know it, they're showing the light codes, the symbols. So if you weren't here before, earlier, if you see symbols in your head, draw that out. Draw that out. That energy is moving through you. So that's light language, but just coming out in form of writing, and that might be kind of the first space. And if you're not already channeling in light language via your voice, I see you with sound, and I see you with the sound bowl. So this is maybe a different direction um, than what you've thought. But what I get a sense of is like what feels passionate, like I just of like a seeking of that. And you could spend a lot of time in all these other areas, and you can still do things to make the money while you are kind of getting yourself up and going. If you I don't know if you've ever, I don't know if this is resonating at all, but they're telling me if you've never been to a sound bath, to go. So when you experience things going through your body, things start to shift a little bit. And then, like what I just heard is and if you have gone, go again. Because what I'm hearing is your guides are like saying to look at the facilitator and like just like visualize yourself up there, and like how does that feel? How does it feel before you receive the sound healing? How do you feel after it? Yeah, you've always wanted to heal. Yeah. How does it feel after the sound healing? And how does it feel to visualize yourself up there? When we start to actually physically feel into the motion of it and like visualize it in that way, that's when the manifestation can happen. And yeah, I see that sound bath, like sound bowl healing. Yeah, I'm trying to think of if it's called something else, because I'm not. Yeah, like the crystal bowls, like the sound bowls. I don't know what the events may be called, like sound healing. But when you see the bowls, yeah, when you see those bowls and they have like a little, can't really see my hand, but they have like a stick that goes around it.
Yeah, this is a
Go.
fire stick.
Yeah.
Well,
Go. Yeah.
what I keep seeing is her on a floating sound bath. Something
Uh,
about the water is very important to her. And I know there's
uh,
a floating sound bath happening soon here in the Phoenix area. I just don't know when, but that's what
yeah.
I'm seeing. So,
Yeah.
combination.
Yes. That feels really good. And the yeah, because the one thing that's coming out is like, how do I do the money and this and that, all that, the guidance that is really coming out now, it just go to an event. And I love how you say you've always wanted to heal naturally since you were young. And so sometimes that's why it's like, whatever it is that you're doing and whatever school it is, the message is not focusing on that, because it's trying to drop in this idea that, yeah, you are a healer. Yeah, you are a healer. And there's like a calling that your soul is deeply asking for. And it feels like, not saying that what you're going to school for, what you want to go to school for, what you're working at is not genuine, and that you still like it. But what I heard is it feels kind of like distractions from listening to your soul's calling, or listening in deeper, or tuning in deeper to try to discover that. And part of that feels like it's connected, like I just felt like I just heard, to self-worth, worthiness. There may have been people in your life that kind of like maybe put down some of your dreams, is what I'm hearing. So or put down, like, not even dreams, it could just be like not even like a dream, like, hey, like this thing that I want to do when I grow up. It might even be like an idea. So there feels like the framing of how things were said to you, and now I feel like I'm, the way it's coming in is I feel like I'm doing all these things over here, and it's like just this kind of shiny object, kind of just for like, my ego feels like it needs protection from stepping into my soul's truth. And your soul is like, you're ready here. And you, like, I actually even see like I see school, like when I see school or learning, I see with the sound bowls, like kind of tuning into that. So if you've never done anything like this before, I already see that you're like, I see you're connected, I see the energy there, but sometimes we don't consider ourselves intuitive, or we don't consider ourselves a healer. But there's an invitation to step in and tune in more to that space. And I get a sense of you being really like grounded, like you can ground in and anchor in energy, or your energy really well. And when we step into group settings, because I see you being the facilitator, when we step into group settings, we have to be able to anchor into our body and anchor in that energy into the space. And that's why they're like, yeah, you've always been a natural healer, because you can ground into the present when you need to. Like, we're on different journeys, and I'm hearing you've been through things. So like, there are things that this will probably bring up for you. But I'm just hearing, just start with pursuing receiving that energy for yourself. Yeah. Um, yeah, you're saying you're in.
New Mexico, and I'm trying to find out which city because there's a whole list of sound baths that you can go to.
Yeah.
They have the 10 top ones in New Mexico, all sorts of things.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure if this is resonating, Elizabeth, but sometimes we need to hear the thing that is in left field, to just explore. Yeah. Because if you don't consider yourself intuitive now, or whatever, you already have a curiosity because you're here.
Yes.
So you, the door's already open. Like, you already have that curiosity. It's now like, yeah, it's now stepping into it. So yeah, you've stopped a lot of joy. Yeah. And why it's like, I think why it really doesn't want to touch on the school and work too as well is and it wants to really focus on this energy because yeah, there's, see, and the energy just actually, the flow just actually stopped, as I was just going to say that. It's like getting into to this deep space. I just heard there's some pain, right? So, and you have there's a lot of joy that was stopped when you were younger, right? This is kind of like your inner child wants to be safe enough to explore its soul. And if there was a lot of stopping and a lot of pausing there, it's like I'm seeing a vision of like you peeking around the corner. Sometimes a lot of times I'll see like people ask about their soul purpose, and it first goes to like, how do we feel like safe in the body to even explore that? It's like, let's even just get to that. And sometimes that's where some of these, and I don't want to say like school and work is distracting for you, but like you're being called into your purpose now, into this a different space, and to hold space for others in a different way. But there's some inner child stuff there that wants to be seen. Resonating. Beautiful. I'm so glad that it's resonating there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I put one of the sound baths that popped up first, Lotus Sound Bath on Montgomery. Yeah. Totally understand the message, Elizabeth. When it's a soul calling, yes. And we're so conditioned, we keep thinking the conditioned or the programmed way. Well, getting a master's means mastering a modality for you, not getting a master's, wasting your time going to school, wasting time and money going to school to get a master's that does not resonate with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, and there's a reason why you asked about it too, because when we ask about the things, it's like, okay, like I'm not sure, right? That's where you the difference is between that and like, oh my gosh, like I get like the fuck yes, like this is it, right? If you're not saying that, then it's not in alignment. Sometimes there could be like doubt, too, that comes in, or we just don't know. So yeah, there's just like you're saying you want to heal, you don't know where to start. Yeah, there's the inner child stuff. Feel free to connect with me too after, um, and book something more like more one-on-one, because this was kind of scratching the surface there, and that's yeah. This way you kind of don't use your time and energy and even resources to something that is like that really doesn't feel fully wholeheartedly connected, right?
Right.
um yeah, yeah.
I
It's
hope that
beautiful.
helps. Well,
Hopefully that
we're
helps.
we're near the end, everyone. Thank you guys so much for coming in. And oh, this makes you laugh. Well, I'm glad it makes you laugh because it's,
It's really hitting home. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. There's that message was like, we're gonna say it, we're
it,
gonna keep saying I see you at a sound bath. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Well, that is so great, everyone. I hope this helped you today. Please remember to share because if you it resonated with you, it'll resonate with other people, and the more we get the message out and get the information, uh, Jenna's information out too, she can help more people because that's what we're here for: is to share, connect, share, and inspire. Sorry we didn't get to you, Melanie, Tara, or who else was the one? Oh, I remember another one. Let me get that look real quick. So that was I got Elizabeth, Melanie. Who? Dang it! Now I can't see the ones we didn't get to. There you go. Diana and Tara, we didn't get to you, or T, we didn't get to you guys. Sorry about that. But time is up, and unfortunately, we can't do this all day. Believe me, we would love to, but our energy would not last.
Yeah. Yeah.
So thank you guys so much. And if you can hold on just a minute, Jenna, and we really appreciate each and every one of you. Is there anything other than getting a hold of Jenna? Is there anything else you need to, last words of wisdom?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Couple minutes.
Yeah, last words of wisdom there is I'm just hearing to everyone, trust in yourself. And it's great that, and I'm not trying to like not sell myself, right? But the biggest thing is trusting in yourself, and that you can get you can get a message out here from me or someone else and the guidance there, but ultimately spirit and the universe are trying to help guide you back to your true self, and for you to learn how to step into your own inner wisdom and use that for you. So that's the big thing that's coming in, is that you're there, the messages are coming in. Sometimes there's doubt, so yeah, let yourself be seen and see yourself, and trust.
Thank you guys so much. Rise above with love. Have a great
Thank
one.
you.
We're out of here.